What's up?
Oh, I just want to know a little bit about the background information about the new candidate called Bernie.
Oh, he's not new, actually. He's got a 40-year history in politics. Actually, he ran last time against Trump, but he didn't get the Democratic nomination. Hillary ruined that, and then we have this horrible president. Anyway, he's back, and he's running again, and this time, actually, he's got just unprecedented support from across all age groups, but especially the millennials and the Gen Z, and his supporters are generally called the Zoomers. And he has a more he represents more the people, not corporations. And actually they call him the Amendment King. He's passed more amendments than any other senator in history. He was the mayor. He was the mayor of a town in Vermont, and that is the first clean city run completely by alternative energy in America, and it's been that way since the 90s, I think. He gets things done, and he hasn't changed his stance, and he's very famous as being not for sale. That's what they always say, Bernie, not for sale. The corporations can't touch him. He doesn't care. He's a son of Jewish immigrants from Poland, born in Brooklyn, and he's very accessible, and he's down to earth. He was in the civil rights marches. He was arrested in the civil rights marches. He can identify with everyone. He went to a public college in New York back in the day, because he's 77 now, and it was virtually free. He said, why can't we do that now? He's always been for free higher education. He really supports the arts and artists, and would promote that in the public school system, whereas Trump's people and the whole trend, even Obama's people, they keep taking away the arts and funding for the arts in our public schools, for music programs and art programs. They just keep cutting, and wants to bring that back. And his track record is such that he hasn't changed his stance in 40 years. His stance is so steady. I mean, the people in Washington, they get sick of him, but at the same time, he passed all those amendments, and they supported him. And all of those amendments, do you know what they were for? They were anti-corruption, for accountability. The Fed had never been audited, and he got an amendment passed to have them audited. It's just been constant, and it's always for justice and equality, and free education, free Medicare. For everyone. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to afford it. So everybody can identify. So we're going to go on over. We went yesterday because my son wants to volunteer. He's 18 now, so he can vote. This is his first election, and he decided to volunteer, so he'll be doing canvassing. And we had a nice talk. It's just everybody's so diverse. There were black, white, Latino, everybody over there. And I'll tell you, they are all like early 30s and younger. And they're the movers and the shakers, and they're the future. And he really supports the future of America, which is how it used to be when he was growing up, investing in education and all of that. It needs to go back to that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
How much chance do you think he has?
Actually, it's looking really good, because they have the caucuses starting. I think the earliest caucus is February 3rd, Iowa. And Iowa and New Hampshire are always the first. So this is for who's going to be on the Democratic ticket. We already know that unless Trump is removed with the impeachment, Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. So we're concerned with who's going to be running on the Democratic ticket. And right now, the three front runners everywhere, all over the U.S., are Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, who's a former vice president under Obama, and Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders now, as of the fourth quarter of 2019, has raised an unprecedented $34.9 million or something just in the fourth quarter. So that's in 3 months' time. And his average donation is $27. So that shows you how many individual Americans. He doesn't have any corporate donors. He is fully funded by actual individuals. And he has the largest funding. So that means the largest amount of people. His average donation is $27, and he's raised $34.9 million in 3 months to pay for his campaign. He's not a part of that elite, like Trump. Trump's daddy gave him millions to start in real estate. All of them are like that. He's just for, hey, you do your thing. You choose who you are. You choose how you want to be. He's not about hate. He's about actually bringing back kind of the 60s and 70s vibe of peace and love and take care of your neighbor. He wants to bring it back. And people are really behind it because they're sick of Trump's type of America. It's gone too far. And actually, I think Trump really did him a favor and the people of America a favor, because he's been a caricature, an over-exaggerated example of what politics in America has become, and we couldn't help but see it. It's just been so obvious, the corruption and how disgusting they are. And it really made Bernie Sanders stand out as unique and who we identify with. We don't identify with Trump and these multi-billionaires. They have absolutely nothing in common with the average American. My neighbors are from Argentina and Mexico and here in Nevada. And I have black, white, Asian, everyone in this one little neighborhood, this little microcosm of about, 5 blocks here. We're not Trump supporters. There might be a few in here, but that's their right too.
That I will ask Trump supporters. Yeah. Today I ask only a question about Bernie.
It's going to be kind of hard to find them.
I'm sure there are many.
There are, but with the impeachment going on, they are really laying low. I haven't seen any hats. I haven't seen even bumper stickers anymore. I think people peeled them off. He's very much embarrassed them. He's embarrassed America. And we're sick of it. That's not who we are. It's not who we are.
Okay, let's go and see. And today we will follow your son. We're
just going to go over to, it's just the campaign office, just the local, like the closest one to us. There are several in Las Vegas. We just looked up the closest one yesterday. And we'll go on over. He signed up to volunteer. And I pledged to caucus. It just means that we'll show up for that vote. Okay. It doesn't mean we'll vote for him. It just means we'll show up for the vote. And that's more than anything what they're trying to do. Is just there are a lot of young voters who have never voted before. And they're just kind of getting the word out that the caucus is coming. And please show up. And we'll even take you. And vote for whoever. But just go vote.
Just encourage young people to take part into politics.
Well, and into your future, because it has to do with you. And there is hope. It's not all like Trump. Now look what's happening. The voters are demanding of even the Republican majority in Senate that they have a fair trial. Or midterm election in 2 years, they just may be replaced and the Senate may become Democrat. So the people, and the young people especially, are finding their voice. They're finding their voice. They're finding that, hey, all right, they've tied us down with all this debt. We have to have a college education just to be able to get a job. But a college education means we come out $50,000 to $100,000 in debt, and that's how we start our lives, and we can never even afford to buy a house or have kids or whatever. And then if medical problems arise, that's even worse. There you go. Now you're in more debt. If you want to live, you're in more debt. So they found that, hey, I do have a say, and let's see if this works. Do you know what I mean? Even if they're unsure that it will work, they're willing to try. Because remember, the world's new to them. My son's 18. The world is brand new to him. So let's see.
Okay. Thank you. We will follow your son and go to see what happens.
There are nice people over there.
This is a place. So volunteer here. 2,000.
There are a bunch of people.
Okay.
This is the one here. No, I didn't see anything. I told you.
So our okay.
Hello.
We were just dropping him off to volunteer. We were here yesterday, and we talked to everybody for quite a while. So it was pretty cool. He has a YouTube channel, and he has press pass, all that stuff he did. And he mostly reports on. He's traveling. He does traveling, but it's my partner. This is like my man. Okay.
I'm shy.
Our Wi-Fi is right there.
So
You don't use data. Yeah.
he's just he has mainly an Asian audience, particularly like Chinese, and they just have no clue about how anything works here.